Now, what about the groin strike? I know there are lots of people watching right now who are going, I would just punch him in the balls.
Right.
So how do you deal with a punch to the balls?
Well, we want to look at it in every context, right? Because every position that we've looked at is slightly different. So we're here, and are you talking groin strikes from here?
Well, this is a little bit harder,
Right.
Because that
That would
an
be my
obvious
first answer, right?
But if you're using the shin shield,
Right.
here,
Boom. Right. So from here, he goes to groin strike. One, I'm getting the groin out of the way for the foot. Two, I'm going to look for control. But now, go groin strike. Right. Boom. Here. Now, it's possible, and this is why we avoid fighting. It's possible to get hurt. It's not possible to prevent all things that he could throw at me. Now, yes, it's also possible that he could groin strike, knock me out. That could be the end of the fight. But for me, the kind of jiu-jitsu philosophy and just the reality of seeing fighting, it's very rare, even with trained fighters, to see a knockout, right? To see it, I mean, we don't see the UFC of groins, so we don't know the impact. But as we'll get into when we get into the no-gi spider guard, we have the ability to take away his ability to hit us. I mean, he could headbutt my groin, potentially, not anymore. But if, say, he had hit me and he had hurt me, but I got here,
it's payback time.
well, it's choice time. I certainly have the option, right? Boom. This is some really dangerous stuff, right? So, I don't want to skip over or shirk over that groin strike question because it's not irrelevant. But everything, it's like, sometimes when people ask those questions, it's almost as though if one of those things happens, then everything's over. I would put my money on the person who is going to strike in the groin and has some training in jiu-jitsu. So has some training in how to control another person versus someone who doesn't have that and is throwing those things at. So as you go to strike groin, I can be doing, please no. I can be doing things that would normally be outside the bounds of comfort. But let's take a look one more time. So first, here, boom. Okay, so I'm trying to create distance. Now, could you still, boom, yes. Okay, we're here, and now, at this distance, you just have a harder time, right? You can try it, but again, I have control, right? I can be looking here, and notwithstanding that all the controls I get lead to submissions, and now, if we want to be breaking rules, if we want to be kind of crossing boundaries, if we want to trade groin strikes, it's not in my nature, but I'm going to put you to sleep and then strike you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of power in knowing how to control and subdue someone, even if you're not 100% impervious to any potential strike.
And people are looking for the magic bullet. Yes, it used to be in the pressure point striking. Oh yes, but you're leaving yourself open to your pancreas 5 meridian strike. And we've learned that that's bullshit.
Right.
The groin, not so bullshit, but rarely a fight ender. I've seen, guys get punted full force in the balls in a real fight and they keep going.
Right.
Plus there's all this other stuff that you're doing to me at the time. So it's not like I can line up that beautiful fight-ending strike.
It's also one thing that's not brought into that part of the conversation a lot is the awareness you gain from training jiu-jitsu. Someone who's trained can see what's coming a little sooner than someone who isn't, and they can see where they're vulnerable. So again, it isn't like a magic bullet per se, but I think it's as close to one as possible. And I would like to see anyone who thinks that, hey, that groin strike would be the fight. I would like to see their answer to being in my position with someone doing all the same things, where the person is, say, this size difference. I just don't, in my experience, I don't have a lot of faith in groin strikes from the guard bottom, for example, right? I just don't think it's a strong strategy.